Hello, everybody! Welcome to another episode of Reacting Reddit, where real humans read, react, and summarize trending content and stories. And today, we're going to be sharing some sex stories. Today's post is by Joey Cape, and it says, Dear Reddit, does anyone have a secret sex life? Let's get at it. First one by Dagon says, My wife and I are looking for this, but aren't sure where to start. Our circle of friends aren't a good place, as the people that aren't crap are really good friends. And the golden rule of thou shalt sight the midden a long way from the well applies. Maybe Sexual says, I have a secret from my wife, and I know it's cheating and partly sexual. I love to swim. I swim laps with this beautiful girl. She's married, and my wife doesn't know about it. We swim for an hour a few times a week. I met her at the pool. One day, I was swimming by myself, wishing a cute girl would show up to swim with me. Okay, I wish that lots of days. But this one day, she really did show up, and she kept making a point of showing up when I swam. We swam like two porpoises together, sometimes side by side. I pass her and we swim together for a few seconds. We're both sleek and strong. We know where each other is in the water. It's been going on like this for months now. I think about swimming with her when I'm falling asleep. We'll never have sex or anything, but I'm addicted to this relationship. We don't talk about it, except to find out when we'll meet again out at the pool. I don't want it to end. That doesn't sound like cheating to me. It sounds like a healthy workout with some bonus fantasy attached. Maybe if you could somehow harness that horniness gained by your swimming session for your wife later on, all will be good. Never Too Old Lady says, Wow, I've never bothered to create a throwaway ID before, but this be the time. My boyfriend and I go to swing clubs and have sex with other people. I'm bi, so this is my chance to get some pussy, and he likes to watch me do whatever with whoever. He also videotapes us having sex and puts the videos out on Adult Friend Finder. You can't see my face, but everything else is right there. Our toy box is quite extensive, so if anything ever happened and our relatives had to come in and clean out our house, they would get quite the surprise. We're both mild-mannered, homely Jewish computer nerds. No one in our day-to-day lives has the slightest clue that we do this kind of stuff. Not Me, 1984, says, I'm an out-of-the-closet gay male. Since August, I've been sleeping with one of my straight best friends. We usually hook up once or twice a week and try to hang out more than that, though we have to be careful nothing we do looks like a date. Most of my friends are always wondering why I don't try harder to pick people up, and can't believe I'm not more interested in sex, not knowing that I'm getting it on the regular. So, yeah, nothing real kinky about the sex itself, unless you consider gay sex unusual, but definitely a secret sex life. Megatom says, Yeah, I was in the same situation for a while. Then she told my friend. He came to my place and tried to break in and killed me. I ended up tasing him. He then harassed me in a really shitty way for over a year, like slashing my tires, breaking my windows, even repeatedly calling the cops on me for noise complaints. Eventually, he went to jail for unrelated reasons. And yes, I still fuck his mother. Jesus. I was wondering what the relevancy was to fuck. Davey Whitney says, I once had ongoing casual sex with a 45-year-old married woman who was also my pot dealer when I was 19 in beautiful Philadelphia. She wouldn't let me kiss her, and she would take her wedding ring off when we did the deed. I remember the first time it happened. She asked me if I wanted to come over and watch Robot Chicken with her. I knew exactly what she meant. Fuck Toy says, I switched to my alt handle for this, but yes. I'm a sub to my boyfriend, who I call Master. He likes to tie me up and give me orders, and we're also really into orgasm control. It's nothing too extreme, but I'm sure my friends would think it was odd. I don't know if his would. We're pretty normal outside the bedroom. When I hooked up with my sister's best friend, she was amazed to learn that there's a porn series called My Sister's Hot Friend. My sister knows, though. She said it was weird, but it made sense. And ultimately, she was okay with it. I'm pretty much into anything safe that's not permanent. I mean, there's a lot of things that sound hot but are just too risky to do. Soon I'll be meeting with 3 transsexual escorts. I'm really excited about this one. Should be lots of fun. Suffice to say, this one isn't going in any of the public record books. If there's interest, I'll do an Ask Me Anything afterwards. In case it was unclear, 3 transsexual escorts at the same time. Sounds like they're in Thailand. Reddit Me That says, I've recently entered into a lesbian sexcapade with a married woman. Her husband knows, I guess it's an open marriage, but none of our mutual friends are aware. She's a teacher, and I love to send her dirty pictures when she's at work. Yeah, careful on that. One of my friends is a teacher, and she had dirty pics of her and her boyfriend on her phone, and she lost the phone at work. So some jerk-off at her school could have them, thus opening up the possibility for A, firing and ridicule for the rest of her life, and B, firing in jail, and C, blackmail. Hey, don't worry. Society's changing, and now there's technology that puts people's faces on porn scenes. So you can basically make anybody look like they're having sex with anybody else. And because this is happening, basically blackmail of porn and these things is becoming less usable because people know that things can be faked. And this also means that if you're a good enough arguer and you got a good lawyer, you can just be like, nah, that's not me. That was generated with that computer tool, even though it wasn't. Line 10 Go Online said, careful here. I had a similar relationship with a long-term girlfriend in which she was constantly having flings with other women. It always ended up in heartbreak for the other girls, which is why I was fine with it. Well, that and she worked extra hard to find bi girls that we could both play with, although that rarely ever actually panned out. She's kind of the reason that lesbians tend to hate bisexual girls. I don't know if this is an actual stereotype or it's just my personal experience. Squired says, is she locking down her phone? That shit should be encrypted, and her phone should be locked the down. I suggest BlackBerry. Even in 2000, my friend and I checked our English teacher's phone when she left the room for a call. Found the cell numbers on some other teachers, but these days, whew. Brendan says, I've read through many of the threads. I'm not surprised by the answers. I am a bit surprised by the downvotes. I'm very fortunate in that I can be pretty open about my lifestyle and activities. I know people who cannot because of their jobs. Some work with children and would end up without a job because of this. Isn't our society so fucked up? If you work with kids, you can't talk about the thing that creates kids. Like, isn't that weird? It's like, hey, this is a bakery. You better not talk about cake. If you talk about putting cakes in ovens, we will have to escort you out of this bakery. No cakes for you. I hope as more of you post this, you may realize that your activities are not really all that different, and you're not alone in how you relate to your activities. I mean, just run over to Argon Wild, our BDSM community, or our polyamory. You can see lots of Redditors there that are doing the same things many of you are. Lord Kane 9 says, my wife and I had quite a wild secret sex life. We were in the BDSM scene for many years. It was very much like the movie Fashionistas with Belladonna and Rocco Siffredi. We belonged to a private dungeon club. She wore my collar, knelt at my feet, and underbust corsets and boots. I would strip her at the club and practice sensual forms of torture in front of a crowd. She took up fetish modeling and made a lot of naughty pictures with many photographers. This all sounds like every man's kinky dream, but in the end, what started as a diversion and escalated into a lifestyle built very dysfunctional ways of being intimate. If you play the roles long enough and deeply enough, they take on a truth or a reality of their own, and the loving and intimate foundation of your relationship can suffer. So, if you're starting down the road of a secret sex life, keep it as an occasional diversion. Enjoy occasional conventional intimacy as well, and spare yourselves a whole lot of crap you will need to recover from later. Huh. Your post affected me physically. Hello, stomachache. I realize that I do not know you, nor do I understand the intricacies of your relationship with your girlfriend, but love seems to be a terribly strong word to use given the circumstances. I wouldn't wish the shit end out of that level of deception on anyone I liked, let alone loved. Upvoted for using your real account. You may be a terrible boyfriend, but at least you're a straightforward interneter. Throwaway224 says, I have a serious offer from a friend. He's 21, I'm 40, for a friend with benefit. Only reason that hasn't happened yet is the snow. Stupid snow. If we manage schedules and the roads are passable, I will have a secret sex life. Personally, I am cheering for my state's DOT. Oh, and I'm female. What's DOT? I don't know. Goldman Sam says, FWIW, I was the guy in basically the exact same situation, though we met through work and it ended up with a bit more than friends with benefits. Anyway, I was 22-ish, she was 40, insanely hot, Japanese MILF. We started hanging out, one thing led to another, yet to this day, it remains one of the healthiest relationships I've ever had, and every girl I've been with since comments continuously on how awesome I am to be with, largely because of what I learned from being with a MILF with a clue. We split up in the end, and things were awkward for a few months, but now, years later, remain great friends and still hook up on occasion with zero weirdness. I just wanted to chime in, anyway, and let you know if you had any doubts. I wouldn't change what happened for the world, and it seems like you are already, but please do ignore all the naysayers. You won't be doing him any harm, quite the opposite. I often think the world would be a much better place if we had some kind of super cougar team of ladies doing exactly this for every guy. I mean, it's basically education. Surely they could work it into colleges somehow. I was the dude. It was awesome and taught me a lot. Go for it. Good luck. Naysayers, the fuck up. These are hilarious. And this one is by Throwaway224. First off, he asked me. I didn't ask him. I would never have asked him, ever. Second, he's not a blushing virgin. He's a horn dog. He's been having sex with assorted and sundry willing females since he was about 15. I freely admit that I've got no business getting anywhere near a 21-year-old virgin, or even a 21-year-old 2 or 3 girls dude. With this one, our body counts are roughly equivalent, which I figure levels the playing field quite a bit. We've both slept with more people than he is years old. Third, I ain't done him yet, just planning to. I don't know how it will make him feel, or me feel, but I'm quite interested in finding out. Fourth, I've known him since he was born. He's my friend first, and my potential booty call a very distant second. It's an odd friendship, I admit, but it is a friendship. Hurting him is not in any way part of my agenda. I'm quite fond of him. Fifth, I'm probably more useful as a booty call than girls his own age. He goes to college, commutes, and lives at home to save money. I have a house of my own, somewhere there's a location to have sex. I'm sterile permanently, so I'm not at all a pregnancy risk. I have discretion and experience, both of which are nice for this sort of thing. I don't want to be his girlfriend or his wife, which makes for uncomplicated booty with relatively little hassle. Sixth, I don't think it has any bearing on the matter, but the only persons who have ever broken my heart have all been my own age. Seventh, he's legally an adult. Neither of us is married or seeing other people. He was dead sober and completely serious when he made the offer. I'm not sure what problem, exactly, I'm supposed to be having here. Get off your high horse. That was well written. Swinger Girl 19 says, I have a secret sex life. I'm only 19 and I've been into the swinging scene for almost a year now. I was raised in a strict Baptist family and my parents still think I'm a virgin. My ex and I used to go to a club and we've met several couples for various things. I've never been so sexually free in my entire life and I love it. CL Mail says, I'm a CL veteran. I started on the Craigslist veteran. I started on the woman for a male section about 6 years ago, but got married and stopped 2 years ago. I still troll it, but I found the woman for male section has totally degenerated with so much spam. It was bad before, but now those spammers have gotten much better at hiding their fake ads. I go on there for the good old times, but I can't cheat on my wife. I gotta live vicariously through you guys. These people talk so straight up about this kind of stuff, it's intense. Social Rat says, I prefer to meet up with girls who are on hard times and need some help, rather than pros, to be honest. A nice girl who just needs to make rent usually gives pretty decent head. Last night, I got a blowjob from a girl for bringing her a 6-pack of Bud Light. Gee, you sound like such a great guy. I hope you never settle down with anyone because you'll probably just bribe them too. Damn. Warped says, I am bisexual and dominant and my coworkers, friends, and family don't know about that side of me. I control slaves online and in real life. They are mine to do with what I want for the most part, as I have my limits, and if they have any, I respect those. I love to keep them hairless, spank them, and keep them in chastity as well. There is the sex side of it too. Now, if you knew me in real life, you would not suspect this. I am told, and only those that submit to me know about it, so I would say it's a secret. The Aluminum Monster says, yeah, I'm completely boring, and your average nerdy science girl. I'm a PhD student. Behind closed doors, I have 2 mistresses whom I have the pleasure of seeing on occasion, one in Chicago and one in Arizona. I also have slept with more girls than guys, and I've been known to attend a few sex parties out in the burbs. No one other than my boyfriend knows about this side of me. Superconductive Rabbi says, for a few months I've been infatuated with my teenage daughter's high school friend. As I fall asleep, I see her glued to my ceiling, naked, with rose petals spiraling down her, while the understated melodies created by Grammy Award-winning Thomas Newman echo in my bedroom. Does this make me a bad person? My job consists of basically masking my contempt for the assholes in charge, and, at least once a day, retiring to the men's room so I can jerk off while I fantasize about a life that doesn't so closely resemble hell. Superconductive Rabbi says, okay, my daughter is coming of age and is involved in her first romance with an artsy, introverted, and confident young man who can see the beauty in everyday objects. And my wife is a career mother whose ambition, sexual frustrations, and dissatisfaction with our relationship have bubbled over into pursuing a passionate, powerful man that teaches her to get off on shooting guns. Also, my neighbor likes Nazis. I won't go into the long story that got my wife and I here, but we decided some years ago, after being together for 14 years, that if the other person found themselves attracted to someone else, it was okay. That doesn't mean it's okay for me to cruise bars looking for a pickup. We call it a conservatively open relationship. It really has up our sex life. There's nothing, it really has upped our sex life, not fucked up our sex life. There's nothing like knowing you're kind of back in the game when out and about, for both of us. You dress better, you keep yourself in shape, and you just think about sex more. Only my wife has found the right opportunity and went off for a night with a guy she met through work. That was hard, I will say, even though we'd been talking about her and him in detail for 6 months. But I'm still really glad we did it, and I've had a lot of fun as well. I've got one woman who is willing, but not really what I'm looking for, and had a summer flirtation with a woman who got busted by her husband before anything too serious happened. Regardless, it has helped our sex life. After 15 years, it has only gotten better each year for the past 6 years or so, and we have a 3-year-old. Oh, this thread's interesting. My Secret Life says, well, I guess I'd say yes, mostly you're wrong. I wouldn't call it resentment, but it's taken me some time to understand that for her, it really was just kind of a fun thing to do. Reaffirming for her and not something that was going to take her over. The guy she chose isn't all that attractive, and so we both agreed, perfect. I didn't need to feel threatened. Mostly, it's really good for not letting yourself get complacent, for constantly reevaluating yourself, and talking, communicating, which is the most important. This is a temp account and says, I used to have a secret sex life. Wow. I used to have a secret sex life no one knew about except a couple of my closest friends. Basically, I was an internet sex predator. My tool of choice was Craigslist. I was a man whore. I slept with so many women. At one point, I was starting to get worried about the limits of my own debauchery. Mind you, this was not casual encounters or prostitution services that I was hitting up, just laying it to every woman that would let me. I would have sex on the first or second dates usually half the time, usually sleeping with 2 or 3 different women around the same time. Once I slept with 3 different women in one day. Not using condoms for the majority of the women. Jesus. Sleeping with married women, videotaping my exploits, treating some of them like sex objects by telling them I was sleeping with other women or cajoling them into to go to orgies or having threesomes. I've even met a married woman who's from Craigslist at a bar, and we ended up being in the toilet room downstairs. I realized after 3 or 4 years of doing this that I was a sex addict. Jesus. I can see a lot of myself in that Tiger Woods guy. He's pretty much a sex addict in my humble opinion. I was deplorable, and if I could take back all that shit that I did, I would. All these women I betted wanted a real relationship, and I preyed on that. I'm married now, but those scars aren't going away. My sex life is shot because my pervert instincts are still there. I still get tempted by going online and finding random women to talk to, but it never goes beyond that. The guilt of actually cheating on my wife would be devastating. But I've had many opportunities to, and my mind and heart is constantly fighting my cock to prevent it from winning. Man, right now, I even have a girl that's willing to meet me at a hot spring in California where they go full Monty. She doesn't know I'm married, but she's highly sexual and not looking for a full-on relationship. God damn my pervert ass. I don't understand, okay, I'm a weird person, because, I identify as polyamorous, but I'm monogamous in my practice, so, I can love multiple things and multiple people, and, I've never stopped loving a person and fallen in love multiple times, so I have love for multiple people, but I'm totally and utterly satisfied just having one person I love who I try and please. I don't understand the appeal of, trying to meet as many people as possible and sleeping with as many people as possible. Any man, two humans, they don't even need to be different sexes. Two humans who are sexually attracted to each other will be able to have sex a couple times, even if they're complete shitheads. There's no quality of the connection to have sex a couple times and never have sex again. But in order to have sex hundreds of times with a person you love and not get bored of it, that happens. And that's what happens when you really, really care about somebody. It just gets better and you learn how to experience things with each other. And I don't understand why people I have a lot of guy friends and girlfriends who are they joke about marriage being oh, you only, geez, you're tied to that one person for the rest of your life. And it's that's not technically what marriage is about. There's plenty of married couples who have extravagant sex lives. They just don't publicly talk about it. And when it comes to sex, you can assume that lots of people are doing things that you have no idea about because our society's so hypocritical. The United States is a combination of incredibly prude and totally sexually supercharged. And it's very, very weird. You'd think that you'd have one and not the other, but it just seems very hypocritical. I'm a firm believer that every human should be constantly live streamed so that we can all see the realities of our lives and see that we're all actually quite similar to each other. We all behave very differently when we're alone. We all have sexual desires. We hook up with people. Some of us don't, and we masturbate in weird ways. We all do weird shit. We just lie about it and then judge each other for the same shit we do. And it's dumb. And the only way we're gonna get above that is if everybody is constantly being recorded. And I know that sounds dumb because you'd be like, I don't want people to know my sex life. And yeah, trust me, yeah, it sucks when someone knows your sex life, but it only sucks because you don't know any of the people's sex lives who's talking about your sex life. When it's a two-way street, it doesn't matter anymore. Who gives a fuck about your porn video when there's 10 million porn videos from every single person made every single day? Someday our society's gonna get there, but we're still a long, long way away. All right, and that's it for now. If you like this kind of content, please do one of the 4 following. Watch another one of our videos, subscribe to our channel, like this video, or comment below. And if you really like our content and want to get to know us, please reach out to us by getting our email on this YouTube channel. We want to set up a Zoom call with you. We make software for YouTube creators and thumbnail tools. So if you want that kind of stuff, check us out. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao.